Hello YouTube, my name is Dana, and I'll be showing you how to do some defensive flying. So I'm taking out the Spitfire F Mark 14, which is the first Griffin Spitfire that you get in War Thunder. So basically, what I'm going to show you is, if for example someone was down on you, you want to get out of the way, you don't want to get shot. So one of the best ways of doing this is what's called a canopy roll, and that's this. You effectively move out of your way, you change your course temporarily, you change direction, you change your altitude, you move a lot. You make yourself a much harder target to be hit. One of the other things you can be doing while you're doing this is, if you were, for example, throttle to idle, loop over, maybe have air brakes if you got them, deploy your flaps if you're going slow enough, hopefully you get the target to shoot you, and, well, then they're not shooting you either. So that's the first one, canopy roll. To do that, use the pitch and use the ailerons, so you roll, just so you do both of them, rather than just a regular so that's a canopy roll rather than a regular barrel roll, which just kind of rotates you, but you don't move a whole lot. And this isn't realistic, so arcade you really wouldn't move at all. So the next one you want to do is, well, the next one on the list is an element, and this one in War Thunder isn't entirely the most effective one. Use this one basically if someone's coming up from behind you and you want to try and move out of the way, get on their tail, just basically move. It's not entirely effective in War Thunder simply because you have to be going faster than your target, faster than the one that's pursuing you. It's fairly good if you want to break the distance, then go head on with your opponent. Yeah, in War Thunder, not the best thing in the world. Basically, to do this one, you simply pull up, and then you flatten off. So you form a C in the air, and you flatten off. Getting quite a lot of altitude, you lose quite a lot of speed though. Someone's right behind you, you're going to be easy pickings, especially when you're like this, especially if you're going slow. Easy pickings, easy time. Not the best one in War Thunder. The best one, if you do have a bit of altitude, there's someone diving on you and you want to do something like that, you roll to invert, and then you just simply split S. So this is pretty good. Problem is, going past 300 mph, you might start suffering from G-force. Yeah, if you do it, it's good to get out of the way, but if you keep doing it, you're going to end up blacking out, possibly losing control of your aircraft like this. Not very good if you're near the ground. Also, you can't really maneuver when your pilot's not exactly conscious. So, those are some of the defensive flying ones. If there's someone diving on you, the good thing is just to turn sideways and then turn. This is simply because you're in a much smaller target like that, rather than to present the whole plane from the top down. It's quite a big target. From the side, much smaller target, hard to hit. One way you can actually mislead players in War Thunder is actually by using the rudder. This can be helpful, but yeah, you can see it's really not good for the plane, not good for the pilot, but you really make some squiggly pans. You might be able to throw off your opponent's aim for long enough. So, it's not exactly defensive flying, but another thing you can do is, if you are down on someone instead of attacking them, and you're going fast, you realise you're going to overshoot. There are several things you can do. You can do a yo-yo, which is you pull up, you go around. It's just basically, you do a loop-the-loop, and if you're going fast like me, you're going to black out. If you pull too hard anyway. It's easy with a joystick to not black out, because you can do it less, but I'm just using a key which either on or off, obviously. The other thing you can do is, if you don't want to do a yo-yo, maybe they're not carrying in a straight line, maybe they turn. One of the things you can do, you pull up, you roll over, and you reinitiate. I kind of messed that one up simply because my keys go a bit funny if I use S, D, and C at the same time. Not entirely sure why. So I'll show you that one again without messing it up probably. So you're down with someone, this side turn into you, so you go for altitude, you roll over, and you're back out. This is obviously the problem with doing manoeuvres at high speed. You tend to black out, especially if you're using a keyboard. It's one thing you gotta remember. Using the keyboard to have it on or off, especially important if you try not to rip your wings, or of course like a pilot. So yeah, that's how to do some defensive maneuvers. Try not to get shot down.